Hey gearheads, and welcome back to Techbeast TV. Get ready, because today we're diving deep into a world of pure mechanical muscle. We've got everything from stump shredding grinders to mud wrestling forest giants and colossal sawmill beasts. Hold on to your hard hats. You won't believe the power we're about to unleash. Let's get rolling. All right, folks, first up, we're kicking things off in a seemingly peaceful suburban backyard. But don't let the picket fences fool you. There's a battle brewing against this gnarly old tree stump, a real stubborn holdout that's been mocking the lawnmower for years. Enter the hero of the hour, this bright yellow stump grinder. It might look compact, maybe weighing around 2,500 pounds, but this thing packs a serious punch, likely running a 25 to 35 horsepower engine. More than enough grunt for this kind of work. Watch as those carbide-tipped teeth on the cutting wheel, spinning faster than a politician changes their mind, absolutely demolish that dense wood. We're talking reducing a decades-old stump into nothing but sawdust and mulch. The operator's working the hydraulic arm like a seasoned pro, sweeping back and forth with precision, grinding down below grade to obliterate every last bit of root structure hidden beneath the surface. This isn't just removal, folks. It's total annihilation, reclaiming the yard one powerful, pulverizing pass at a time. Feel that rumble? That's the satisfying sound of victory over stubborn wood. What a way to start. From taming the backyard beast to tackling the untamed wild, let's head deep into the forest where the real heavyweights throw down. Things are about to get muddy. Now, deep in this rain-soaked forest, the terrain itself becomes the primary adversary. Check out this absolute unit, a green forestry forwarder. These machines are the undisputed workhorses of the woods, typically boasting powerful diesel engines ranging from 150 to over 250 horsepower and capable of hauling immense loads, anywhere from 10 to 20 tons of timber straight out of the stump site. But right now it's facing its arch nemesis, thick, sloppy, unforgiving mud that seems determined to swallow it whole. Look at those massive high flotation tires, probably rocking some serious low-pressure specs for maximum footprint in traction, churning like crazy, fighting desperately for every single inch of grip in these deep, soupy ruts. You can practically hear that powerful diesel engine groaning under the load, putting all its considerable torque down through the complex drivetrain to pull this multi-ton beast through. This is where legendary off-road capability meets Mother Nature's messy challenge head-on. Will its advanced articulated steering and robust powertrain make it, or will the mud claim another victim? Talk about being stuck between a rock and a very wet place. The tension is real. Phew. It looks like our green giant managed to claw its way out of the mud's slimy embrace, for now. But don't celebrate just yet. The forest isn't done throwing curveballs. Next up, navigating the aftermath. When the mud gets this incredibly deep and treacherous, sometimes even giant, driven wheels aren't enough to guarantee progress. That's when you need to call in the reinforcements. Time to bring in the track titans. When the going gets really tough, the tough get tracks. Say hello to the tracked skidder, a mean orange beast specifically engineered for maximum grip and pulling power in the most hostile, low-traction environments imaginable. Forget deep mud. This machine claws its way forward with relentless determination, almost like it's got a personal vendetta against soft ground. Those continuous steel tracks, often with aggressive grousers, spread the machine's considerable weight. We're talking maybe 40,000 to 50,000 pounds or more, over a much larger surface area compared to wheels, giving it incredible traction and flotation, where wheeled machines would be hopelessly bogged down. Brace yourselves for an onslaught of raw processing power. Feast your eyes on this colossal green industrial wood chipper. This ain't your grandpa's garden variety chipper used for trimming hedges, folks. This is a mobile wood-eating monster, likely boasting a dedicated engine cranking out north of 500, maybe even approaching 1,000 horsepower. It possesses an absolutely insatiable appetite, fed relentlessly by those nimble grapple loaders. First a black one, now a yellow one joins the feeding frenzy, tossing in whole logs, awkward large branches, and miscellaneous wood waste without the slightest hesitation. Listen to that deafening roar. Inside that massive housing, a heavy rotating drum, probably weighing several tons and armed with multiple razor-sharp, hardened steel knives, spins at terrifyingly high speeds. Timber goes in one end, gets violently pulled in, and poof, in mere seconds, it's violently converted into a blizzard of uniform wood chips, blasted out through the adjustable discharge chute onto the ever-growing mountain beside it. We're talking incredible processing rates, potentially dozens, maybe even over 100 tons per hour depending on the material. This is industrial-scale recycling and volume reduction, turning waste into valuable biomass fuel or landscape mulch with mind-blowing speed and force, a true spectacle of mechanical might. Even after the logs are harvested and processed, getting the valuable goods out of the forest and onto the main roads can still present significant challenges, especially when gravity decides not to be your friend. Uh-oh, looks like we've got a classic logging situation here. Even these mighty log trucks, engineered for heavy loads and tough conditions, loaded down with tens of thousands of pounds of timber, can hit a snag on steep or slippery terrain. This fully loaded rig is seriously struggling on what looks like a steep, muddy incline within the forest. You can see the drive wheels spinning, the engines roaring trying to find purchase, but the massive weight is proving too much for the tires alone. Who you gonna call? How about this versatile orange excavator? Usually busy digging trenches, loading trucks, or clearing land, today it's playing the crucial role of the ultimate powerhouse pusher. These excavators, depending on their size class, can weigh anywhere from 30,000 to well over 100,000 pounds and pack immense hydraulic pushing force through their boom bucket. And they're off, kicking up some serious dust. The journey continues as the extracted timber makes its way out of the deep woods towards civilization. Check out these loaded log haulers, could be dedicated heavy-spec trucks, or possibly even those versatile forwarders we saw battling the mud earlier. Absolutely barreling down this dry, packed earth forest road. Look at that impressive dust cloud billowing behind them. Kind of dramatic, right? These haul roads, often temporary and built specifically for the operation, are the essential arteries of the logging world. The steady, powerful rumble of those massive diesel engines is the constant heartbeat of the industry, carrying tons upon tons of harvested logs towards the processing mill or a designated landing area. These machines are the vital transport link, bridging the gap between the remote harvest site and the next stage of processing or transport. Even on drier ground like this, hauling these heavy, sometimes dynamically shifting loads requires serious driving skill behind the wheel and robust machinery built tough enough to handle the constant pounding and vibration of unimproved roads. Another load successfully en route to market. Oh boy, winter has definitely arrived in the forest, and it's not playing nice, bringing a whole new level of challenge. Check out this powerful yellow skidder battling a nasty, slippery combination of fresh snow covering deep freezing mud. This is logging on expert difficulty, folks. Even for a machine specifically designed and built for tough off-road conditions, this is absolutely brutal. Watch those big, heavy lug tires, possibly wrapped in chains for extra grip, spin and churn, desperately trying to find some solid purchase on the slick, unstable surface below. That plume of black smoke puffing rhythmically from the exhaust? That's the sound and sight of the engine working under maximum load. Straining against the combined resistance of the heavy timber, it's likely pulling and the friction sapping frozen ground simultaneously. It's sliding sideways. It's churning violently. Every single movement is a hard-won fight against the elements. You've got snow, ice, deep mud, and heavy logs all conspiring to halt its progress. This takes serious operator skill, nerves of steel, and a machine built like an Arctic tank. Only the toughest survive out here in the unforgiving winter logging season. When you need to proactively clear ground before it potentially turns into an inescapable swamp, or simply tame the wild edges of the forest, you call in this specialized beast. Time for some serious land management and vegetation control. Behold the forestry mulcher, a tracked terror painted in imposing black with that bright, menacing yellow cutting head leading the charge. This machine is the ultimate vegetation annihilator, designed for clearing land with brutal efficiency. It crawls purposefully along the edge of the wilderness or through dense stands, confronting thick brush, stubborn saplings, and heavy undergrowth like a hot knife through butter. That heavy-duty rotating drum up front, studded with dozens of hardened steel or carbide teeth and powered by a dedicated high-flow hydraulic circuit from the carrier machine, attacks everything in its path with terrifying efficiency. Wood splinters instantly, leave shred into confetti, and small trees simply vanish in a powerful whirlwind of mulching fury. It doesn't just cut, it pulverizes, reducing all standing vegetation to fine organic matter, simultaneously clearing the land and enriching the soil beneath in one pass. This tracked beast tames the wild edges, preparing the ground for new growth, construction access, or fire prevention, demonstrating incredible terrain-conquering capability and raw clearing power. Nature is literally reshaped before your very eyes. From clearing acres of vegetation with massive machines to processing individual logs for a very different but equally important purpose, let's check out the log splitter in action. All right, let's scale things down just a notch, but keep the hydraulic power flowing. From potential forest giants to practical fireplace fuel, the wood processing work continues with this efficient hydraulic log splitter. Say goodbye to the days of backbreaking, blister-inducing axe work. Watch as the operator easily places these heavy, awkward rounds of wood onto the machine's sturdy cradle, and check out that handy hydraulic log lift featured on some models. That's a real back saver, preventing strain. Then with a simple pull of a control lever, the hydraulic magic happens. A powerful hydraulic ram, generating anywhere from 10 to over 30 tons of focused splitting force, depending on the specific model, drives a sharply honed steel wedge straight through the log along the grain. A crack. That deeply satisfying sound as the wood gives way instantly. That firewood's looking good and ready for the hearth. But what about those much larger logs? The ones destined to become lumber for building our homes and furniture? Let's head over to the industrial heart of wood processing, the sawmill. We've arrived at the bustling industrial hub, the sawmill. Outside this massive facility, where raw logs begin their transformation, a powerful yellow wheel loader, likely equipped with specialized heavy-duty log forks or a grapple attachment, is running the show at the log yard. Its primary, crucial job? Feeding the beast within. Gotta get that rough, often dirty outer coat off before the expensive saws touch it. Watch as powerful, often spiked feed rollers grip and aggressively spin these heavy logs, forcefully shoving them towards the business end of the machine. Here, rapidly rotating cutter heads, armed with specialized replaceable knives or sometimes abrasive tools on ring debarkers, engage the log with incredible speed and force. Bark just flies off in long strips and messy chunks, usually falling onto a conveyor system below to be collected and used for mulch, biomass fuel, or other purposes. This violent stripping process exposes the clean, pale wood underneath. This isn't just for aesthetics. Debarking is crucial because it prevents hidden dirt, rocks, and grit embedded in the bark from dulling or damaging the expensive sawmill blades, ensures cleaner, more accurate cuts downstream, and makes the logs easier for automated scanners to analyze electronically later on in the process. It's noisy, aggressive, highly effective, and absolutely essential for efficient, high-volume lumber production. Raw power refining raw material. All right, folks, buckle up for part 2. Now, let's jump right back into the heart of the forest for some classic high-stakes tree felling and witness even more extreme machine action against the elements. Deep in the lush green embrace of the forest, sometimes the job calls for surgical precision and reliable handheld power, especially when dealing with trees in tricky locations. Check out this skilled operator, fully geared up in safety orange and ready to take down this sizable tree with a legendary style chainsaw. These German-engineered saws are absolute icons in the industry for a very good reason, renowned worldwide for their impressive power-to-weight ratio, durability, and unwavering reliability in tough conditions. Listen to that high-revving two-stroke engine scream as the chain bites. He expertly makes the initial notch cut, or face cut, carefully calculating the precise direction of fall to avoid hazards. Then, moving around to the backside, he starts the critical back cut, leaving a hinge of holding wood. From skillfully felling the tree to the immense challenge of hauling it out, and it looks like our big red friend is right back in the thick of it, this time battling winter's worst combination. And we're immediately back with the big red forestry forwarder, proving that the grueling battle against mud and snow is absolutely relentless in the winter woods. This terrain looks absolutely brutal, a churned up, frozen soup of freezing mud, slush, and patches of snow. Look how deep those massive, wide tires are sinking, the lugs fighting desperately for every available ounce of traction in the muck. The sophisticated articulated steering is working overtime, constantly adjusting to try and find the path of least resistance, while the powerful hydrostatic or mechanical drivetrain, likely featuring multiple selectable differential locks, pushes immense torque to all 8 wheels. Water and mud splash high. This is a raw, visceral display of a multi-hundred horsepower machine being pushed right to its operational limits by the harsh elements. Can its advanced Scandinavian engineered design and sheer grunt force overcome this incredibly challenging, wintry swamp? It's a true test of heavy-duty engineering designed specifically for exactly these kinds of hostile, low-friction environments. The fight continues. All right, folks, so after the big trees come down and the logs are hauled away, what happens to those stubborn stumps left behind, huh? You can't just leave them there looking ugly and getting in the way, can you? Nah, that's where these seriously cool machines come rolling in. Check this out. We got a worker here, looking professional and safe in his Red Dog vest, expertly handling what looks like a Carlton stump grinder. Maybe the SP5014 TRX model. This ain't your grandpa's shovel, let me tell you. From his control panel, he maneuvers this yellow beast right up to the mark, and then the fun begins. That big cutting wheel loaded with carbide teeth just goes to town. Whoosh! Look at those chips fly as it shreds right through that tough old wood. It turns that entire stump into a pile of mulch in what feels like minutes. Back inside the industrial heart of the sawmill, the intricate journey of the log continues its relentless march. After arriving on the main infeed deck, these massive logs are transported along the line by heavy-duty chain conveyors and powered roller systems. Here we see them encountering even more sophisticated machinery, likely an advanced combination debarker and log turner optimizer system. Powerful mechanical arms, high-speed rotating cutter heads, like we saw before, and now advanced 3D laser scanners work in perfect concert. They might be removing any stubborn remaining bark, but critically, they are scanning the log's exact dimensions, taper, and any defects using lasers or cameras. This data feeds into a computer system that instantly calculates the optimal cutting pattern to maximize the yield of valuable lumber from that specific, unique log, minimizing waste. The machinery then automatically rotates and positions the log perfectly for the first critical cuts at the primary breakdown saw, like a head saw or bandsaw. This high level of automation is absolutely key to modern sawmill efficiency, maximizing value from every single log and keeping the high-speed production line flowing seamlessly. It's a noisy, powerful, incredibly high-tech dance of optimization. Let's step back outside the mill for just a moment to witness some more raw, heavy lifting power in the log yard. Time for another skidder demonstration. Now check out the sheer, unadulterated pulling power on display right here. This big, tough-looking black and white wheeled skidder is doing exactly what skidders were born to do, hauling serious, heavy timber across challenging terrain. Forget using the winch cable this time. It's employing its powerful rear grapple. Think of it as giant hydraulic ice tongs for logs, clamped firmly onto this absolutely enormous log section. Look at the incredible size and weight of that thing. The diesel engine, probably putting out well over 200 horsepower, roars with effort as the massive, heavy-ply tires dig hard into the dirt. We saw a fairly standard, ground-level tree felling earlier, but now prepare yourselves for something truly extraordinary. Get ready for some old-school logging techniques combined with modern power, performed high above the forest floor on a truly massive scale. Whoa, folks, strap yourselves in, because this is absolutely next level. Forget standing safely on the ground. This highly skilled logger is perched precariously, maybe 20 or 30 feet up, on traditional wooden springboards that have been expertly hammered into slots cut into the side of an absolute monster of an old-growth tree. This is how legendary lumberjacks tackled forest giants back in the day before heavy machinery. And incredibly, it's still used sometimes today for specific situations or exceptionally large trees. The ground below is dusted with snow, adding to the already immense drama and danger. He's wielding that powerful professional chainsaw, carefully and methodically carving out the huge face cut or notch, way above ground level, dictating the giant's final resting place. Sawdust rains down like brown snow. Then switching tools, he uses heavy steel wedges and a heavy maul, or sledgehammer, driving them strategically into the back cut on the opposite side. Thwack, thwack. Each resonant blow echoes through the silent, snow-dusted forest, widening the gap, building immense pressure within the tree's fibers. The ancient tree starts to groan audibly, fibers straining and popping. It's leaning. Hear that final cracking? Timber. A thunderous, earth-shaking crash as centuries of growth finally surrender to gravity and skill. Absolutely breathtaking technique, unbelievable courage, and raw power on stunning display. Wow. After a monumental giant like that hits the forest floor, the immense work of processing it and hauling it out begins. And inevitably, especially in these conditions, that often means encountering, you guessed it, more mud. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Just when you think you've seen the worst of it, the mud monster strikes again with a vengeance. This time it's a rugged-looking orange-brown Valtra forwarder, a brand known for its robust forestry equipment, fully loaded with heavy timber, and fighting its way valiantly through what can only be described as an absolute swamp. Look how incredibly deep those ruts are. The thick, clinging mud is halfway up the massive tires, threatening to engulf the entire machine. The machine is churning violently, wheels spinning, the articulated chassis twisting and flexing as the skilled operator desperately searches for any scrap of traction on the bottom. These Valtra machines are known for their toughness, often featuring robust transmissions, powerful hydraulics, and advanced control systems designed specifically for challenging Nordic forest conditions. But this situation is pushing the machine to its absolute operational limit. The engine is audibly straining against the incredible drag and suction. Can it power through this deep, soupy section without getting hopelessly stuck like its green cousin earlier? Every second is a nail-biting test of machine capability and operator resilience against the sucking power of the mud. Let's make one last stop back inside the controlled environment of the sawmill to see where those truly massive logs, the ones too big for standard processing, meet their match. And for our grand finale inside the impressive sawmill, witness the mighty heart of the primary breakdown operation for the largest logs, the colossal bandsaw mill. Look at the sheer size of that log on the carriage. It's huge, irregularly shaped, likely weighing many tons, a true giant even by sawmill standards, presenting a real challenge. It's clamped securely onto a moving carriage that feeds it precisely toward the saw. And here comes the star of this show, that giant vertical bandsaw blade, a continuously looping ribbon of incredibly sharp, specialized steel, often several inches wide, spinning at tremendous speed with a high-pitched whine. Guided with computer precision or expert operator control, the carriage feeds the logs steadily and smoothly through the blade. Wow, what an incredible journey through the world of heavy machinery. From battling stubborn backyard stumps and wrestling with impossible mud and snow in the deep woods, to skillfully felling towering forest giants and precisely slicing them up with awesome industrial power. Thanks so much for joining us here on Techbeast TV. If you love seeing heavy metal in action, getting dirty, and putting horsepower to work as much as we do, make sure you smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next mechanical adventure. We couldn't keep bringing you these awesome videos without your support. Stay safe out there.